This is KMJ at KMJNow.com or wherever you stream. Welcome to the Marc Kapetan Show. This is attorney Marc Kapetan, your host. Today's show is brought to you by the Kapetan Brothers Law Firm. We've been serving the Central Valley since 1995. If you or anybody you know has been injured in an auto accident, a truck accident, or a motorcycle accident, give the Kapetan Brothers a call at 559-498-8000. Or if you've been arrested or cited for a criminal offense, call the Kapetan Brothers at 559-498-8000. Kapetan Brothers, the Valley's Law Firm. Today's show is brought to you by the Arc Mediterranean Grill, everybody. Arc Mediterranean Grill. Delicious, right, Marcella? Delicious Mediterranean food. Authentic Armenian goodness, as I like to say. 2 locations. One in Clovis, one in, I think, on Herndon Avenue, and the other one in Fresno at Champlain and Perrin. Yeah, so go get the Arc Mediterranean Grill if you want some great, authentic Armenian food. I'm trying to do my best because I have my boss sitting here at the microphone with me. Blake Taylor. He's the program director for KMJ. You saw me hit the post in the beginning there. Was that a good one there?
Sure.
You like that?
Let's go with that.
Come on. I've been practicing that for 4.5 years. Post, folks, means that you time that music so when you finish your intro, it's like a beat in the drums or something like that. I don't know what it is, but it just, when you hit it, it just makes the hair on the back of your head tingle.
When you hit it, you know it.
When you hit it, you know it, yes. And usually if you're a radio guy, you look to the other radio guy and you go, see there? I did it. I hit it. Now, listen, we have another spotlight on the KMJ family. He was my roommate in Washington, D.C. during the inaugural period. He's my boss. He's actually the program director here at KMJ. He's the only person at KMJ who is important below our beloved Patty Hickson. And there's only one other person that I think is more important here at KMJ, and that's my lovely producer, Marcella Solorio Taylor, because he is the husband of Marcella. He's the man behind my producer, you could say. And he's been in radio for 17 years, a former baseball star from what I understand, and he's here to see me do the show personally and critique me at the end of this, and it may be my last show, I'm not sure. So welcome, Blake Taylor.
Hey, Mark, thanks for having me, dude. I haven't been in radio for 17 years, though. I've been in radio since I was 17.
Since you were 17. See, I already got that wrong, too.
It's okay.
Okay, I am fired then. All right, listen. I don't know how Trump did it because I don't know about you. We just got back from Washington, D.C. on Wednesday. It is now Friday. I did 2 court appearances yesterday and 1 court appearance today, and I'm exhausted. Are you as tired as I am?
I'm a little bit wiped out. That was a long flight, a couple of long flights coming back. Going there was a little bit stressful with the weather. I've never flown into a snowstorm.
That was crazy.
Yeah, when we landed at Reagan International in D.C. on the 19th of January, I fly pretty good. I usually don't get too nervous, but that was a little bit of a...
Were you nervous?
A little bit nerve-wracking.
See, I actually love it. I love when it starts getting turbulence because I know what a plane can do. I also know a plane can fall out of the sky too. But
yeah, well, your dad was a pilot.
And that's why. Because we'd sit there and he'd make me laugh when those type of things occurred. If we went on a roller coaster, he would tell me if we're going to do a loop-de-loop, how to, look so that if you could pretend like you're in a plane and all that stuff. So when it started snowing and stuff like that, I was like, oh, this is going to be great.
Yeah, well, according to you.
All right, so Trump now is out there like a madman.
Yeah. I heard from the get. I mean, he's sworn into office. A couple hours later, he's issuing hundreds of executive orders.
And I heard that he stayed up till 3 a.m, and then it was up at 6:30 the next day back in the office working.
Sounds about right.
Did you miss the fact that we missed the 250,000 people that were supposed to be present for the swearing in?
The pomp and circumstance of it all, I missed. This was my first inaugural event to see in person. So it was kind of a once-in-a-lifetime thing for me. So it was a little bit disappointing, a bit of a letdown that, you're not surrounded by 250,000 people going bonkers for their guy. The part that I missed probably more so was the parade. I was really excited to check that out as they go make their way down Pennsylvania Avenue to the White House. Donald and Melania hand in hand waving at the crowd. That would have been neat to see.
But I don't know how they would have gotten away with it.
I got to tell you, you were there with me. We were bundled up to the T, and it was still frigid cold, Siberian-like temps.
It was, and I'm going to talk about that in a bit. But I'm talking more. How would they have gotten away with it with just the security concerns with Donald?
Yeah, well, you and I pointed out the snipers to you all along all of the rooftops of the National Mall.
People. Yeah.
Well, listen, I got to tell you, and I think you would agree with me on this, Mark, is that security was extremely tight. All of the roads in and around the Capitol, the White House, the National Mall were all closed down to public traffic. It was only foot traffic that was being allowed in there, and that there were swarms of plainclothes, undercovers, snipers everywhere along every rooftop. And there were a lot of rumors around there that wasn't just maybe the cold that canceled everything and moved everything indoors inside Capital One Arena and inside the rotunda for the oath of office.
Right.
There may have been maybe a tangible threat there.
Yeah. It's at one point we went to get an Uber to figure out where we were going to be dropped off at the Capitol Mall, and I look at the maps it was either Google or on Uber, and there was basically no entry signs all throughout the map, maybe 100, 200 of them. They had every road blocked off. We were 1.9 miles away from the Capitol, even though it looked like a stone's throw when you looked out the window.
Right.
And we had 2 to 4 military guys out front of our hotel all the time.
That's right. Yeah. Well, there were at least 25,000 law enforcement officers in the nation's capital for that probably 48 to 72 hour period around the inauguration. But an additional 8,000 National Guard troops were called in as well to provide additional security, and that's who was stationed outside of our hotel.
I don't know how it made you feel, but being in the military, my dad in the military, and growing up in Washington, D.C. and Virginia, North Carolina stuff, and growing up on military bases, I remember a time where I think it was sometime in the 80s or 90s where they said, we don't want military personnel on their off time, or even if they're working, to be able to be in public places with their military uniforms on. And so I hadn't seen that in so long. And I got to say, it felt great to me.
Yes, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. One time we were in Paris, and not to be all bougie and stick my pinky out or anything, but
one time
my family and I we were in Paris, and we were outside one of the sites. I think it was anyway, Sacre Bleu. Anyway, and the French army officers were fully loaded.
Yeah.
Full on AK-47 assault rifle type machine guns. And my kids were very young at the time. They were probably 7 and 8, and they were a bit nervous about that.
Yeah.
And they're like, Daddy, what, they had never seen anything like that before. And it was the first time. And I said, they're here to help us. They're here to protect us from the bad guys that might want to come and hurt us. So, and they figured it out from there, and it was great. But I got to tell you, I agree with you. The amount of law enforcement and military presence was really reassuring.
Yeah. Well, and you realize that when you're there, most of the people walking around have some sort of connection with the government. And some of them that may be walking around may be very, very important people, including at one point at a Truth Social party, what was it? The vice president of...
No, he was the president.
Oh, he was. We didn't know at the time.
Well, we didn't know who he was at the time. All we knew is this guy had literally the Klitschko brothers guarding him as his security.
The president
he was the president of Macedonia.
That's it, of Macedonia.
He was standing literally next to us,
right,
while we were sipping on beverages at the Truth Social event.
And many guys with broken noses standing next to him, right? It was great.
Yeah, those dudes were intimidating.
Yeah, we'll tell you all about our brushes with fame at the Truth / Rumble party there in Washington, D.C. This is Blake Taylor, my guest, my boss for today on KMJ. We'll be right back after this. Hey folks, it's Marc Kapetan. Are you looking to grow your business or stay informed? The Business Journal delivers local exclusive business news you won't find anywhere else. Subscribe now at thebusinessjournal.com or call 559-490-3481. Subscribe. I do. This is KMJ at KMJnow.com or wherever you stream. Welcome back to the Marc Kapetan Show. Folks, listen, if you missed part of the show, you could get the KMJ app. They got a great app out there on your iPhones and all your cell phones. If you want to go to KMJnow.com on your computer, you can listen to the podcasts of this show and every show here on KMJ. Check out a little John and Christina, maybe a little Ray Appleton or Philip and E. Also, you can check out the Marc Kapetan Show on YouTube, Facebook, Truth Social. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Smash that like button, as the young kids like to say. You can follow us on, but you could also get us on Truth and Rumble. Forget the Instagram. So we like Truth and Rumble. No, we get us on Instagram. Get us everywhere. Speaking of Truth and Rumble, I am on with Blake Taylor. He is the program director here. He's the man behind the scenes here at KMJ. So everything you hear gets filtered and produced by you? No.
Yeah,
right?
I'm technically responsible for everything you hear.
Yeah, exactly. Good and bad.
Yeah, not always awesome, but it's the folks at Cumulus and Patty Hickson, our general manager, has treated me very well.
Very well. Well, they're nice people. Yep. Yes, of course. Everybody here is nice, and that's why when folks, I have an independent show. Technically, has I guess you could say it has nothing to do with KMJ other than that it's on KMJ. But a long time ago, I said I want to be part of the team. In spirit at the very least. And so I had some tickets to go to Washington, D.C. to go see the inaugural. Thanks to Jim Costa, our friend. Good guy. I love Jim. He's a great guy.
Jim is a good guy.
Yeah, he really is. Yep. Politically, completely opposite of what we are.
You might not like his politics or disagree with him, but he is actually a very nice gentleman.
And quite honestly, he's pretty centrist, right?
He's a blue dog Democrat.
Blue dog Democrat. That's what we call him here in Fresno. Yeah. But I said, I called Blake. I said, hey, man, you want to go along? And so Blake was my roommate in Washington, D.C. for the the ceremonies that never occurred. And we're here to talk about it and talk about his life. So,
oh, God.
Yeah. Your life. Hey, okay. So we're going to talk about the True Social Party here in a little bit because we had brushes with fame. Well, but I was looking at pictures of us in Washington, D.C. In front of the Lincoln Memorial, and I want to ask your impression of it. But my face is so red. And you would think that I had a sunburn, but I told the girls I didn't have a sunburn. It was so cold that my face is red and tight, and so is yours. Not as much as mine, but
no. Look at you see my chapped lips? Look at this.
Oh, I still have them. Thank you.
I haven't had chapped lips since I was like 12.
You can see his chapped lips on Facebook and YouTube, and I'll do all the advertising again.
I had a drink at the airport in D.C. when we were coming back.
I heard you start screaming too.
Oh, my lips! I didn't realize how chapped they were. I had a lime in my drink, and oh my Lord, that burned.
Yeah, my lips were chapped like mad too. In fact, at one point, when I went to pay my parking ticket, or not parking ticket, but parking pass here in Fresno, I couldn't get something out of my wallet, so I put the ticket in my lips to hold it. I couldn't get it off.
It stuck?
It ripped a piece of skin off, too. So I got this like almost ready to be a sore on my lip. Because
like literally the flaming lips.
It was brutal over there, folks. At one point it was almost 0 degrees. Yeah. With what they call the feel like factor. Yeah. But we were out there with about 5,000 other people. Mm-hmm. All right. you hit up that and the Lincoln Memorial. I know you've been to D.C. before, but you said you'd never been to the Lincoln Memorial.
No, I went with Valley Honor Flight in 2018. If you ever get a chance to go and volunteer or escort a veteran with Valley Honor Flight, do it. Great organization. I did it a few years ago, and we toured all of the mountains, or all of the monuments, except the Lincoln Memorial. I think it was closed at the time for renovation or something. So that was my first time to go there. It's really awe-inspiring.
It's inspiring, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You sit there. I mean, do you have a specific thought that did you think about family? Did you think about America? I sit there and I think about my days growing up in Washington, D.C. with the family, Dad being in the military, but also just this feeling of I love America.
Yeah. The patriotism was flowing through me when I was right there. You know, I never thought I'd see the day to be there again.
Yeah,
and thanks to you, you know, I had the opportunity to go back. So
I'll tell you, I've been there also when there's been protests and stuff, and I would love to one day go to a Democratic inauguration too, because even though there was 5,000 people out there. There were supposed to be 250,000 people out there, but there's something about the Republicans, and you could say redneck. Some of my friends are saying uneducated, whatever you want to say. But compared to the hippie liberal that is protesting their government at these functions, it is so nice being amongst these people.
Everybody was super cordial, amped to be there despite the weather. You know, it was interesting. You mentioned protesters. I saw one in the metro station, and she didn't make it out into the cold. I didn't see her little pro-Palestinian flag flying anywhere.
Is that what it was? I didn't even see that. Oh,
yeah,
man.
She was asking the cops that she wants to defund directions to get to the rotunda.
Was she really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. You know, we had mainly Uber drivers that were from like Senegal and from Ethiopia and whatever, and every single one of them was just smiling. They were just so happy that Trump was in office.
Yeah, they were having a good time. The guy from Egypt was fantastic.
Yeah.
He was cracking up, and you know, everybody was very positive. Our first night there, we had a wonderful dinner at Ebbett's old house.
Old Ebbett's house.
It's built in the 1850s. One of the best meals I've ever had. So that was a blast. You nailed that recommendation. So thank you for that. And we had some great conversations with diehard Trump supporters. One couple from Ohio. They were super pumped that it looked like Vivek Ramaswamy was going to run for governor.
That's right.
They were all pumped about that. And then the couple from Dallas that we met, they were in the oil and gas industry. They were super psyched.
Young, though. And in the oil and gas industry.
Yeah, and they were super psyched about Trump getting, freeing up oil leases and all of that to drill, baby, drill.
What was weird is I really did have a comment from a friend that basically said, you know, about the most poorly educated city right now is Washington, D.C., because there's 250,000 Trump supporters there, right? And I said...
That's funny.
I know, it is. and I said, yeah, maybe... I said, fine, you consider them poorly educated, but they have one thing that is better than poor... better than poor education, or what you're thinking, and that is common sense. Everybody that we talked to, they weren't going crazy like rabid fanatics. They were just like so relieved that things would possibly get back to the common sense of plain talking and you know.
Well, that was the title of Trump's speech. His inaugural speech was the Common Sense Revolution.
Yeah.
And America first, priorities for this country, not everybody else. And you got to love that attitude. I do.
And it sort of made sense to me because, and maybe that is the reason why I've been a lifelong Republican, because whenever I've done a trial, my opening statement, actually it's the closing statement that I do it on, the first words out of my mouth are common sense. And I tell the jury basically, listen, you're going to hear a bunch of rules and a bunch of legal lingo, and what we're asking you to do is just use your common sense. Don't be swayed by fancy talking and all that kind of stuff and people trying to lie to you. Just use your common sense. So yeah, it was really in a way heartwarming, or really relevant to me, and it made sense. All right, the Truth Social / Rumble party. I think it officially was Rumble. Tell everybody out there who we saw there.
Let's start at the beginning with the president of Macedonia and his
security team and attaches and everything.
That was interesting, getting the dirty eyeball from those guys just for being in a same place that he was. And he was chatting it up with actor, comedian, podcaster Russell Brand.
Yes.
From one of my favorite movies, Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Don't let your kids watch it. Adults only on that one. But Russell Brand was there hanging out, hobnobbing a little bit. And then we ran into some radio folks. A couple of nationally syndicated guys.
Rich Valdez,
who is a big up-and-comer with Cumulus and Westwood One. He's got an evening show that airs 9 to midnight Pacific, and he's syndicated on hundreds of stations. Plus, Dan Bongino was there talking to us, and he was fantastic. Super nice guy.
We're going to talk about Dan Bongino, Rich Valdez, all those guys, Russell Brand right after this. This has been equally famous Blake Taylor from KMJ. All on the Marc Kapetan Show. We'll be right back after this. This is KMJ. Hey folks, it's Marc Kapetan. Are you looking to grow your business or stay informed? The Business Journal delivers local exclusive business news you won't find anywhere else. Subscribe now at thebusinessjournal.com or call 559-490-3481. Subscribe. I do. It's News Talk 580 1059 KMJ. Welcome back to the Marc Kapetan Show. Yes, we are 50,000 watts AM and FM, along with streaming at kmjnow.com or wherever you stream. Folks, if you've been arrested or cited for a criminal offense, you know to call the Kapetan brothers. I'm going to pot this music down. Listen, seriously, if you've been in an accident or something like that, you need an attorney. Give the Kapetan brothers, my firm, a call Monday through Fridays. You can call on the weekends, and we'll try to give you a call back if you leave a message. And just ask questions. Just listen to what we have to tell you. We've been doing this for 33, 34 years. Myself, my brother Peter, I think 36, 37 years. And we really know what we're doing, and we'll ease your concerns, and we'll give you the proper advice. And if you need to hire us, you could hire us, okay? So call the Kapetan Brothers at 559-498-8000. Kapetan Brothers, the Valley's law firm. All right, back on with Blake Taylor, the illustrious Blake Taylor from KMJ. He's the program director here. We're talking about our brush with greatness in Washington, D.C. with the Truth Social Party. And the Rumble party that we attended. Thanks to Devin Nunes and his team over at Truth Social, who was also present. So,
yep.
Okay. So you saw, I was very, very impressed with you, Blake, because...
With me?
Yes, absolutely. I stood back at one point because at some point we're talking to Rich Valdez, who's a radio host, a nationally syndicated radio host, and everybody will know this name. He introduces us to Dan Bongino, who comes in like a tornado, quite honestly. Everybody's looking at the guy. He's this great-looking guy, very tall, lovely wife with him. He comes walking up to us, and he starts talking to us just like a sweet, nice, regular guy, which I'm sure he is.
Yep.
But then you guys get into radio discussions, and it's like me talking legal stuff.
Yeah.
And it was very impressive. Was that had to be pretty neat to I don't want to be in the presence of greatness. It's Dan Bongino. He's a radio guy, but he's extremely famous now.
Yeah, he is. He's I believe probably the fourth largest show right now, syndicated show in America. Super nice guy, super smart, very energetic, ready to go. He's just ready to go. And, he was a Secret Service agent for a long time. That was his background, was law enforcement. So it was really good to catch up with him. I hadn't met him before. And, you get me talking about radio stuff, and I'm just a nerd. And, me, Dan, and Rich Valdez, we could sit there and talk radio for hours and hours and hours. I don't want to get into some of the specifics we discussed because that's some company issues that we were talking about, and that need to be behind the curtain. But neither here nor there. Some of the sweetest people in this industry you might not think are sweethearts. Ray Appleton, sweetheart, puppy dog. Mark Levin, the great one, total psychopath on the radio, right? He's like the nicest guy I've ever met. He's super sweet.
Well, and I think Rich Valdez was his call screener for a while.
He was a producer for Mark Levin.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so what was neat was not only were you guys talking radio stuff, but how much they knew in the radio business, even Dan coming from the Secret Service, but also how much they were listening to you and the opinions that you had as a expert. In my line, we'd call it an expert, being a program director. Where did you start off? How did you get into radio?
Oddly enough, both of my parents were in radio for a little bit.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. My mom, in the mid-'70s, was the music director at KKOB AM in Albuquerque, New Mexico, as well as the travel secretary for the play-by-play guy for the New Mexico Lobos, Mike Roberts, who I ended up working with and becoming great friends with. Years down the road in the late 90s, I worked at KKOB, AM and KNML in Albuquerque in sports. Yeah.
When you mean music director,
my mom was programming
what songs?
Programming the music for what was then probably a AAA or a soft AC type of station. So here you go.
Okay.
My mom worked at KKOB in the mid 70s. 20 years later, I'm in the same building, working on the same station in sports. Though.
And was she doing basically what kind of music is? You said, what did you say it's called?
AAA,
AC something.
AAA would be kind of like yacht rock today,
right?
It'd be something like that.
So would she bring that stuff home? Be listening to it at home? Was there always music in the home like that?
Yeah, actually there was. The record player was busy, and here you go. Here's one for you. When my mom passed away a year and a half ago, I inherited her record collection. And you know who she had these? She would always get these demo records, right? She had a demo record of Mott the Hoople.
Oh, one of my favorite,
which
Ian
I gave
Hunter.
to Ray Appleton because he's a huge fan.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the earliest bands we ever listened to. One of my favorite bands ever. I went and saw him about 7 years ago. It was like the thrill of a lifetime for me.
Very cool. And then my dad was in. He would do play-by-play for my high school in football, basketball. Baseball wasn't good enough or big enough to get a radio deal in my hometown, but he did play-by-play, and I did stats for him when I was a kid, when I was like 10 to 12 years old. I would do stats.
That's the one thing we don't have in common because I know nothing about sports, but were you actually a sportscaster when you were on the radio?
Yes.
Okay. So did you play music also?
I dabbled. My first job when I was 17 was on doing the graveyards. Midnight to 6 on the weekends at KZOR in Hobbs, New Mexico.
Hey, don't you sometimes wish to be back there?
Good God, no. Are you kidding me?
Oh, are you kidding? I used to go with my buddies at KKDJ back in the day, and my buddy Dead Air Dave did the 2 to 6 show. And the cool air, we'd open all the doors to the station, and the cool air would come in. And I just long for those days compared to the difficult days we have nowadays.
Fresno's a bit different than where I grew up. I grew up in a small oil patch town in southeast New Mexico. That's not a place you long to be in life.
Yeah, I think you're the only guy I know from New Mexico.
There you go. It's called the land of entrapment for a reason.
The land of entrapment?
Yeah, well, technically the land of enchantment is the official state nickname. Well, we call it land of entrapment because nobody ever gets out of there.
And speaking of which, speaking of small little weed patches of oil towns, you met your lovely wife at a small little weed patch oil town.
Well, Bakersfield was...
But she's not from Bakersfield. She's from...
She's from Wasco.
Wasco.
Up the street a little bit. Yeah. But yes, we've met and fell in love within weeks of my being hired at KERN in Bakersfield, where she was an investigative reporter.
Oh, yeah. So you were just longing to... See, that's why I'm saying you're longing for going back home because you just wanted that little girl from the little small oil town, didn't you?
That sounds creepy, dude.
Well, believe me, the greatest gift you ever gave me was saying you need to hire her as your producer.
Yeah,
she was
a
hardworking girl back at the
Oh my God, dude, she was Bakersfield famous. You know, she got into an on-air fight with Bill O'Reilly once on Fox News.
You've never told me that story.
Oh, that's a good one.
What? Okay, hold on. We're going to be right back. We may have to get her on the air for this one too. Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, my Lord. All right, we are on with Blake Taylor and soon-to-be Marcella Taylor to tell about the fights with Bill O'Reilly. Right after this is the Marc Kapetan Show on KMJ.
Hey folks, it's Marc Kapetan. Are you looking to grow your business or stay informed? The Business Journal delivers local exclusive business news you won't find anywhere else. Subscribe now at thebusinessjournal.com or call 559-490-3481. Subscribe. I do.
This is KMJ at KMJnow.com or wherever you stream. Welcome back to the Marc Kapetan Show. Folks, the Arc Mediterranean Grill sponsors. We love the Akisian brothers. The Akisian brothers from Arc Mediterranean Grill. Like I like to say, Marcella, if Noah from Noah's Ark had the Arc Mediterranean Grill on ship with them, it would have been a much happier 40 days and 40 nights. Let's see, mouth-watering hummus, delicious dolma, shish kebabs, lamb kebabs. Marcella, what's your favorite? You like what?
Everything.
You like everything over there. She likes everything, Marcella says. So take it from Marcella because she loves everything. 2 locations, Champlain and Perrin, Herndon and Armstrong. So that's Clovis and Fresno. So if you are looking for lunch for the office, maybe dinner for the family, go by, get some takeout or eat there. We love it. The Akisian Brothers and Arc Mediterranean Grill. Mediterranean Grill, all the freshness and goodness of the Mediterranean families. So I don't know if I'm saying that right or not, but Arc Mediterranean Grill sponsors. Thanks, guys. We're back on with, and my boss is watching me do all this, with Blake Taylor from KMJ. He's the program director, and he went to Washington, D.C. with me. We were talking about all that, but we're talking also, he is the husband of Marcella Solorio Taylor, my lovely producer, as I like to say. And Blake was saying that you have a story, Marcella, about Bill O'Reilly and getting an argument. Talk in that microphone. You know how to do this.
No, you started because
all right,
I don't like talking.
I take over.
I don't like talking on the radio. Thanks. You're going to ruin my show, Marcella.
I run into, I take the job at KERN in Bakersfield, and Marcella's the lead reporter there, and eventually became an investigative reporter. We had a huge story, mass murder, basically, the Vincent brothers mass murders.
Okay.
If you were in the South Valley back in, what was that, 03, 02? 04, one of those years. Anyway, Marcella was our lead reporter at the scene, at the crime scene that day, and our phones are blowing up from national media wanting our content and wanting to talk to us. And Marcella got a call from the producer of the Bill O'Reilly Show on Fox News, which was the biggest show in America at the time.
I was a fan, yes.
Yeah, we were fans. And so she makes an appearance live from the crime scene on the Bill O'Reilly program.
Yes, and it was Marcella, number one.
Oh, he called you Marcella?
Marcella, what was it?
Marcella Chilorno.
There's my debut, and I was
screwed up her name.
Did you correct them?
No, I believe I didn't because I was at the crime scene, so I didn't want to, But then he starts, and he was convicted of killing several members of his family. Kids were involved. It was just horrible.
So what was the argument that you had with Bill?
So he was asking me if he wanted me to confirm some information. Well, we know that this blah, 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 blah happened and tell us about it. And I was at the scene and I was not going to confirm something I did not know was a fact.
You were a reporter, true and true.
The video will come up and then I was wrong. No, I said, I don't know at this time. I've been at the scene. Here's what I can tell you. Here's what I know. Oh, but we know. And I kept saying, well, good. I'm thinking to myself, then why are you calling me?
Yeah, good for you.
Why am I here?
He was basically Bill O'Reilly being Bill O'Reilly, and she called him on it, and it was a tense little exchange. It was funny.
Is that on YouTube somewhere?
I remember we had it recorded.
Oh, you know it's somewhere. I gotta watch. I gotta see that.
But it was like on VHS.
Yeah, we VHS recorded it at our place.
Yeah. So
you know what's not going to be on video? Marcella on this show because she's going to get her hair done and she doesn't want to be on video right now.
On right now.
You don't have your lipstick on right now. You look fantastic. But can I say that in front of you, Blake? She looks fantastic.
She's hot.
Just like playing out of the shower or whatever.
Right.
Well,
not out of the shower. Right, that didn't sound right, by the way.
Brakes there.
We're all best friends.
Although I saw Blake in DC coming out of the shower.
Oh, my gosh. There we go.
He's pretty hot, too.
Click the dump button now.
You guys have been married for how long?
Let's see. We got married in 2006, so 19 years this year.
And she drags you along to all the travels that you guys go to?
Drags me? No.
Willingly,
but they get to. I don't get to pick where we're going. But
she's dragging you along.
We've got 2 daughters, teenage daughters, and her. So it's always a 3-to-1 vote.
Do you have any say around that house?
Yeah, I say when the garbage goes out, and I have to do that.
No, that's called I say when I'm going to take out the garbage.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty much it.
You guys have been where?
Oh, gosh. Last year we went to Scotland and Germany.
Yeah.
A year before that, we were in Venice, Milan, Barcelona. We're going to Rome pretty soon.
Greece.
Went to Athens. Loved Athens. Did not expect to love Athens. It was awesome.
Thanks. Gee. Did not expect to love the Greeks.
No, it had nothing to do with the people. I just didn't know what to expect. It was awesome. I loved it. We had a great time.
Yeah.
I that's your girl's favorite from what I understand too.
Yeah. Paris, Amsterdam.
Two lovely girls, Shay and Sophie.
Yep.
And a nice little puppy, a dog, Boba, and now a new addition to the family that I understand you named, right?
No, me? No. I had nothing to do with naming the dog.
Publicly, I want to, thank you. Say the name, Marcella. You're right. Say the name.
Say the name.
No, say it.
I refuse to call the given name of this dog.
Which is what?
I can't tell you, but I call the dog Fife Dog.
No.
Fife Dog?
It's
Yes.
Fifi.
It's Fifi.
See?
See, you
How
have
emasculating is that?
You have no say.
I'm telling you, it's a 3-to-1 vote in my casa constantly. I have no rights. I need an attorney.
You have
any recommendations?
a little Dotson puppy that you have to walk around on the leash and say, "Come here, Fifi. Go poo poo, Fifi." Go
so
pee pee, Fifi.
Cute. You played with her, Mark.
Oh, so cute. Come on. You got to call her Fifi. I couldn't call her anything else. She's a little Fifi.
I know. But you are an amazing father and husband, and he's so easy to, get along with, and he just is real patient with us.
He is very easy to get along with, yes.
You are. I know you're making that face, but yes.
I'd say, where should we go for dinner when we were in D.C.? And he'd go, hey, man, whatever. Let's go. So, yeah. You just go with the flow.
I try.
Yeah.
You know what that's called, Marcella? A beaten man.
Nailed it.
Or let's go shopping. You're like, okay, you go do your own thing. And
Hold on, I've got Appleton calling me.
You're the guy.
I'm on the radio. What? Oh.
You're the guy sitting on the couch at those old dress shops back in the day. It's just like, when are we leaving this place? Too funny. But hey, listen, he was a manly man at one point in his life. I hate to say that.
I thought we were friends. Jeez.
You were a baseball local star, regional star, what?
Regional-ish, yeah, for a while. A couple years there, I had a moment in the sun.
Made it to college?
Yeah. And blew my arm out my sophomore year, and my rotator cuff shredded, and I was done.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. Like professional level potential?
I probably wouldn't have gotten drafted, but I definitely could have gone independent ball and had that opportunity to climb.
Yeah.
But you never know. It's always possible.
You were a pitcher, right?
Yeah, I was a submarine pitcher.
Yeah, I was about to ask you what your pitch was.
Yep.
Submarine pitcher. That was who was it? Vita Blue? No, Vita Blue.
No.
Who was it? Raleigh. Who did the? See, I'm not a big.
So I was a fan of Dan Quisenberry.
Oh, that's it.
Dan Quisenberry of the Royals won in the World Series in 1985, and I was a big fan of George Brett, Dan Quisenberry, Brett Saberhagen, all those guys, and I just modeled my style after Dan Quisenberry. I thought he was the coolest thing since.
Would you dig that deep and that low to throw that submarine pitch? No kidding. Mm-hmm. Oh, I
was a lanky fella back in the day.
Do you have any video of that?
No, this is days before video cameras really.
I would love to see that. By the way, as your wife is lovingly looking at you talking on the radio, she missed my cue to Marcella.
Is this amateur hour?
Yeah, she's supposed to give me that cue saying it's the end of the show, Mark.
Hey, that was fun, Mark. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, this is the end of the show with Blake Taylor from KMJ, part of the KMJ family, and a little bit of Marcella Taylor. So thanks again for introducing me to your wife, which again sounds wrong. Thanks for being on the show, buddy.
You got it, man.
All right. We'll see you next week on the Marc Kapetan Show. Thanks to our sponsors, Arc Mediterranean Grill, and, of course, my brother Peter, Kapetan Brothers Law Firm, your Valley's law firm. We'll see you next week. This is KMJ.